Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. We are doing a How to Wear a Crown collective divine guidance reading using my card deck, the How to Wear a Crown divine guidance cards. And we are going to pull an overall energy theme for the month of September 2024. We're also going to pull a card for the areas of love, health, and wealth. Then we're going to pull individual cards for each of the zodiac signs so that you can personalize this a little bit more to yourself. I hope you enjoy. If you are brand new to this channel, thank you for giving me the opportunity to read for you and provide you some messages. I hope you stick around and subscribe and like these videos. And if you are returning, thank you so much for being back. Everybody, welcome. And let's just jump right in. The overall energy for the month of September for 2024 is the evolution of your worthiness. This means that we're really focused on an overall evolution. We're focused on taking it to that next level. We're focused on how can I wrap up and tie up the work that I've been doing in my journey so far, and what is it that I need to do to step into and move into a new area of my journey? What is next for me? What does it look like to evolve more? What does it look like to, okay, so like maybe I understand how my self-worth has improved and I can see how that has affected my life, and I can see how that's influenced my life in love, health, and wealth. And but I kind of want to see what else is there for me? What is the next level for me? It's not over for me. This is not where I'm going to stay forever. So how can I take this to even higher heights? What else? What does maybe God want for me? What is in my God's will for me? What is in store for me that maybe I can't even see for myself because it's so beyond my human comprehension of what I'm worthy of and what I deserve that I couldn't even see it for myself. So opening up to even more, right? An even bigger vision of what's in store for your life, an even bigger vision of an ideal life for you than you could have ever imagined for yourself. And that goes for all the areas. What does even greater love look like for me? What does even greater health look like for me? What does even greater wealth look like for me? Is that possible? We're kind of teeter tottering on, ooh, that feels like impossible, but maybe it's not, right? We're kind of tapping into a new realm of understanding about what it means to evolve in our worthiness, that our worth was always inherent, but that our understanding and our knowing of it can grow over time. And I can become more and more aware that more things were available to me and that I do deserve more than I ever thought possible. Okay, so that's the overall energy for the theme of September 2024. So we are just so focused on evolving in our worthiness. And then if you look at the card, what you see in here is the ripple of the water and this like connection where the hands are being held. And what's so beautiful about that is that as we evolve in our understanding of our worthiness, we realize that we have this oneness situation where when I treat others well, that is me treating myself well because I am you and you are me and we are one, right? So as I put out positivity, what I put out into the world is what I'm going to get back in return. That is that ripple effect that kind of can sweep across the entire world. So we're also kind of taking a look at like, what do I need to start putting out? What do I need to start emitting as a frequency and as a vibration? What do I need to start rippling out so that I can get that? But what do I need to start putting out there so that my future will have a ripple come back to me, a wave come back to me of this type of frequency, right? Because our current life is going to be a representation of what kind of energies we've been putting out for a while now. And we want to say, okay, I like this about that. I don't like this about that. So, how can I start putting out the frequencies that will return to me, that will be in alignment with this new knowing, this new clarity about what I deserve and what I deserve, what I am worthy of and what God feels like I'm worthy of rather than like what my logical mind can perceive is of what I'm worthy of. Okay. Ooh, that's big, right? We're kind of stepping into a new realm, I feel like. A new realm of understanding what it means to learn how to wear a crown. And so I've already pulled the cards for the areas of love, health, and wealth, and I am really excited to show these to you. Okay, so for the area of love, we got living in a material world and our relationship with stuff. And in this card, you can see a depiction that says addiction, and it's got like cards that symbolize like gambling and smoking and pills. And it's this addictive sort of we can have a negative relationship with stuff. Oh, and what I want you to know about this card in terms of love is that this can represent codependency. This can represent entanglements. This can represent enmeshment and transactional relationships. This represents relationships that are rooted too much in the three-dimensional realm and not enough in a spiritual realm. So we really want to focus on probably where you are holding codependent attachments to people. In what ways are you enmeshed with people? In what ways are you, um, and this can be both ways, in what ways are you not allowing other people space to have their own individual journey? Um, being in what ways are you holding people captive? In what ways are you holding on too tightly to people and not keeping a healthy detachment where there's you as an individual and them as an individual? uh, like I think a lot of times people that are really spiritual can get maybe too caught up in this energy of like I'm one, right? We're all one, and not recognize and honor the individualism. So it's kind of this balance of both. Like I get to know that on a spiritual level, like I am one with all, but also I get to honor the fact that I'm an individual unique person and that you're an individual unique person and that we all have like our own life experiences, and not to take things personally that other people are doing, responses, reactions, words, that kind of thing, like not to take it so personally and have it affect the way that I feel about myself. How can I separate my sense of self-worth from other people? Are you letting your sense of self-worth be too tied up in what other people are doing, thinking, acting, right? Like not this is to let go of that self-worth attachment that is connected to other people, right? That just because somebody else didn't show up the way that you thought that they should show up, that doesn't mean anything about your inherent worth, and it doesn't mean anything about their inherent worth. And basically to just not use people, right? That people are not a drug. This is something that we have to really know. People can stroke our ego, people can make us feel good. Our interactions with people, what people bring to the table in our lives can make us feel good. Even having contact with certain people every single day. Like if you're, how are you, what is that doing to you, your sense of self-worth? And it can be maybe I'm receiving something that's making me feel um like I'm more worthy, or I'm enough because this person checks on me every single day. That means that I'm good enough, right? I'm attaching a meaning to the connection and to the conversation, to the relationship, or vice versa. um I'm good enough. That means that I'm doing something. I have value, more value in some way because I am of use to this person, because I'm checking on them, because I'm helping them, right? Like there can be these meanings that we attach to like what people are doing in our lives or what we are doing for people, that create these energetic entanglements where, and what that does is it keeps you from being fully free, and it keeps that person from being fully free to be who they are and live their lives the way that they want to live. So this is really just like cutting those energetic attachments, clearing the way. And this does not mean that you will lose people in your life unless that is what is in the best interest for you. Okay. What it means is that you're going to cut the energetic attachments that are keeping you stuck to your current dynamic with that person, free those up, let those be of the past, and then you can reunite, right, in a higher vibration. Y'all both are free to kind of grow and change and evolve and shift into who you're supposed to be and now, and then reconnect, right, in some new, better, higher vibrations. I hope that that makes sense, that we can detach and reattach and detach and reattach, detach and reattach. And that's a normal, natural spiritual process that takes place between two souls, right? Two spiritual beings rather than two human beings. And to allow that process of ebb and flow and expansion and contraction and to take place between these energetic beings, right? To honor that and see how that trickles down into our physical reality. But people are we have so much power and we have so much authority as spiritual beings, but people we do not have control over, people we do not have authority and power over. So we do have to allow people to make their own choices, their own decisions. They have free will, we have free will. So this is really just talking about take that deep breath, let go of any expectations or overly harsh responsibility you're putting on yourself or other people, expectations you're putting on yourself or other people in relationship to be any type of certain way, because that's when you're going to start having a lot of discomfort in your relationships, is when you're making up in your mind how things are supposed to be and how things are supposed to look and how it's supposed to feel, what they're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be doing, instead of just allowing and existing in that relationship in the way that your energies want to flow and interact with each other. Yeah, that's enough on that. So, people aren't drugs. They're not here to make you feel good about yourself. You're here to make yourself feel good about yourself, and they're here to worry about their own feelings and their own sense of self-worth. So focus on you and let people go. If you're holding on to people too strongly, let people go. Let people go and let others let you go also. And it doesn't have to mean that like it doesn't have to trigger like abandonment issues in you. It can really just feel freeing to be detached. And okay, I do have more to say about it. I shouldn't have I shouldn't have spoke so soon. I do have more to say. I always have to say. What it does is it frees you up. So when those disconnects take place, right, when we unplug these cords of energetic connection that we've placed between us and others, then what happens is that you're movable, right? When you're not tied down to all of these other people and the vibrations that they exist in the three-dimensional realm, then God can kind of pick you up and move you around. So, God can kind of pick you up and move you around to where he wants you to go. And I say God, but your higher power, whatever, can move you around and take you to places that you would have maybe not been able to get yourself to in a timely manner. That's when those quantum leap sort of feelings happen, is when you can be pulled and placed because you're not so heavily stuck down to things in the three-dimensional world. So this is not this one. This is really important. This is really important because you're going to feel better. You're going to feel freer, and you're going to let God work in your life to do the things that God wants to do with your life. So if you've been feeling like you need some kind of divine guidance, some kind of divine support, like please help me, please change my life, like this, which really does relate to this overhaul energy of what is that next level? Pick me up and put me there to this next level. Then you might need to like detach yourself and let some others go. And this is also super related to forgiveness, right? Those energetic connections can be a lot about like holding on to resentments, holding on to old thought patterns about people, um, and needing to just give that forgiveness, use the Ho'oponopono kind of deal with the, if you don't know what it is, just look it up. Google will help you spell that correctly. I promise. Ho'oponopono. And it's just like a thank you, I love you, I forgive you, please forgive me. It's like it's all encompassing of what it takes to do an overall like forgiveness and release process that will free you and the other person of the energetic attachment. So that could be a really great practice to do during this time so that you can be picked up and placed into what is the evolution of your worthiness journey right now. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Now, maybe is it true this time? Okay, let's see. Next, we have the area of health. So for health, we've got rule 3 of the How to Wear a Crown program, and that is carry yourself like royalty. So carrying yourself like royalty in regards to health, I'm really feeling like means you need to actually walk it out, take an action. This is the part where we take things that we've been learning, take things that we've been soaking up and embodying, and now we are believing are possible, are believing that are true for us, believing that are we're capable of, and now we're taking the actionable steps to bring it into the physical world because we can think it all day long and we can speak it, right? Because it's a process of manifestation to take something that is comes from a vision that we have, a higher dimensional energy, to take an energy and then manifest that into the world. It's a vision, it's thoughts, those turn into words, we speak it, but then we have to embody it, we have to feel it and believe it here in our heart center until it becomes feelings, it's more tangible. But then the next part is like acting, right? Believing that we have the power to carry that out and then actually acting upon it in some way, shape, or form, right? We have to give it form. We have to give that energy life. So when we're thinking about health, like think about like embodying, like you're trying to align with like your dream body or your health, relieving yourself of some kind of health issue, getting, curing some kind of disease that's in you, getting well, whatever it is. There's an action, right? You've been thinking about it, you've been talking about it, you've been planning about it, you've been feeling about it, but now the universe is like, you got to get going. Like you got to get moving. Like maybe it's a workout plan. Maybe you've been like, well, I want to lose this weight and it's like I would do it like this. These are the things that have worked for me in the past. These things haven't worked for me. You're doing all these thoughts about it. Maybe you're, signed up for, this is the time where you sign up for the gym. This is the time where you actually, you make the plan and you get on your phone and like set a timer to get up every day and that says go on a walk, or you purchase the set of weights on Amazon or whatever it is that like you wanted to do. This would be the actionable steps that make this thing more tangible in your life and more of a reality. It could be calling the doctor, setting up the appointment for the therapy, setting up the appointment for the procedure that you need to have done. This is the actionable steps required to manifest this into physical reality. And if whatever you're doing around your health is not something that requires something external like a gym or a doctor or whatever, then this could be writing it down. This could be making a dream board of it. This could be just writing out steps on a plan. This is whatever it's going to be to make you do it, right? Even if it's just like writing it out, like I'm going to manifest this is happening, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, like writing it out. Something actionable. How can you put some moves behind what is going on in your head and what's going on in your heart? Okay. So when it comes to health, let's carry ourselves like we're healthy. Okay. Carry ourselves like that divine health is already in place. How can I carry this out? How can I walk this out? How can I act as if? How can I move according to, right, what this looks like in my mind? If the vision that's in my mind was true in life, what would I be doing? Right? If that higher self, that future version of myself that already is in alignment with this divine health, right? Whatever that means for you, what would that look like? What would I be doing? What, we bring senses into it. What would it sound like? What would it look like? What would it feel like? What is that? And how can I pull that into the physical reality with an aligned action? Okay. So get moving, whether that's metaphorically or physically, get moving, do an action, more actionable, more tangible, more form, bring more form to what's happening on an energetic level, what's happening in the thought process, what's happening in the feeling state, bring more form into it. And I'm feeling like that's going to happen really easily, like that all that energetic work is already done, like all of the, the energetics and the mental and the emotional, it's like most of it's already done. And you just need like that little last push of like doing even like something ceremonial, like maybe like the letting go process of like some kind of I'm hearing like a saying goodbye to, maybe it's the illness, like maybe you're realizing like the core wounding of where how you manifested some kind of illness inside of you, and you need, I'm hearing a ceremonial process, like writing a letter of saying goodbye to your illness, writing a letter of saying goodbye to, writing a letter of, I'm hearing writing a letter to the core wounding, whatever that means for you. Speak to the core of it, speak to the all the way down deep to the core of it. And you don't even have to know what it is. You can just say, like, say your problem is maybe it's showing up as like a skin issue, like a rash, and you keep getting this type of rash, or like eczema, or some like skin condition, or like something like something's showing up physically, right? And maybe you've like been to all the doctors and you've done all the things and you can't get rid of it. And you don't know what the core root of that might be on a spiritual level, but just say like, well, the write the letter to the core wound, the core spiritual issue, the metaphysical core root wounding of my eczema, right? And then your soul will know. Like understand that you're connected to a higher intelligence. Then on some level, like you already do know, and you don't have to understand in your logical brain, that you can understand in your soul. But when you can direct it towards the original core, whether that was here, when you were 4 years old, something happened, or whether that was 3 lifetimes ago, and that, you reincarnated several times and still haven't dealt with this. Just speak to the core, and write a letter to the core wounding. Okay. And if that's too like over the top, just write it to the illness, write it to the problem, right? And you can say, this is like, it's a conversation, right? This is what you make me feel like. This is what you're doing to me. You can ask it questions. You can ask for answers. It can be almost like a conversation of a writing, and then take it outside and burn it. Crumple it up and throw it in the river. I don't know. Flush it down the toilet. Something ceremonial you can do around this, involving a letter, involving writing. Okay. Now we're on to the area of love. Wait, no, wealth. We did love. Now we're on the area of wealth. And we have for wealth the consequences and negative self talk. So, honey, you're not talking to yourself very well about wealth. You have a poverty mentality. You're most likely not connecting to wealth, energy. And this doesn't just mean money. This means things that make you feel wealthy, all encompassing, right? This could be a wealth of time, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of whatever, right? Relationship, a wealth of connection, a wealth of mm, peace, right? Whatever it is that you feel like you're still lacking it because of the way that you're speaking to yourself. And I feel like there's a lot of value. And I do feel it's like 80-90% actual physical money that is going on in the wealth department today, is what I feel like. That it's mostly actual money, mostly physical, tangible things that you're concerned about, and that you're not speaking to yourself well about it. You're speaking yourself more into feeling lacking, more into feeling impoverished, more into feeling like, things aren't going to happen or manifest or come to fruition for you. I'm feeling that there's a lot of the collective that is concerned about, don't really want to say that, just just like housing and living situation. I don't know if you're stuck in a certain living situation that you don't enjoy, you're having trouble getting out of it, or there's a living situation that you want instead. Um, you're trying to reach a goal or achievement around a living situation, like getting your own place or um, getting a place that you actually own, or just like leveling up, like getting a better place. Maybe there's not enough room where you're at. You want a different, maybe it's the area, like you don't like the area in which you're living in and you want to move to a whole, like you're like, there's this state that I really want to live in, that I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get to this state because there's too many obstacles and barriers to like me being able to move. So I'm seeing things around moving, and I'm seeing stuff around actual physical money. Um, but somehow not career. Like it's the money's not connected to career. Like there's some kind of other type of money that you're worried about. Hmm. So that could be like inheritance. That could be um like a lottery win. That could be like a gift of some sort. That could be a payoff from something, some kind of other type of money that's not related to like job income, that is a concern for you. But um, speak positively about it. Speak about it like it's already here. Speak about it like it's already come to fruition in the way that you desire, and ask for divine support around it. And I'm really feeling to just put the worry down. Like, you don't even have to think about it at all. You don't have to think a negative thought about it. You don't have to think a positive thought about it. Just try like neutrality for just a little while. Like, I'm going to have no thoughts about this. I'm going to have no feelings about this for a little while and see what happens, right? Neutralize the energy around it. Like there's too many thoughts connected to it that you just need to let it go for a little while. So I'm really seeing like get out of your head about the situation and get into your physical body. Do things that make you feel good. Do self-care, get your feet in the grass, like go on a walk, do something that gets you out of your head and back into the physical reality, because you're just overthinking these situations, and that's not really doing you any good. It's just making you feel bad, and like for literally no reason. um, which is not a wealthy vibration. So in order to tap back into a wealthy vibration where you're going to help to manifest the money or the physical thing or whatever, um, and actually put a positive vibration onto that situation, you have to back up away from that situation and focus on what is right in front of you that makes you feel good. Because what makes you feel good is a wealth vibration. So it's like, go cook yourself a nice dinner, go outside and enjoy the weather, take a nap and meditate, write a poem, like whatever. Like there's so many things that you could do to just get out of this. It's kind of like it's like a pity party mentality. I'm not loving that. So um, gratitude will help you tap back into a wealth mentality. Looking around at what you do have will help you tap back into a wealth mentality. Um, I'm even seeing that you're stuck like in a comparison trap. You can do that both ways. You can look at, oh, this person's doing better than me in all of these areas, or you could say this person's doing, there's these people that are doing worse than me, and I'm actually doing better than them in comparison. Both of those are going to mess with your ego. And what we want to do is just get out of that like up and down ego trap, comparison trap, and just think about your own situation and keep your eyes on your like your side of the street. Get back in your own lane and do things that make you feel good is what is going to be the best thing to deal with this. Because you're just having like this pity party where you're focusing too much on like other people and their journeys and you're comparing yourself to them and it's making you feel bad. Um, you could kind of pull yourself up out of that by looking at, well, I'm not doing the worst though. Like it could be like this instead. But then once you kind of get up to this neutral place where you're like, oh, okay, I'm just, I'm normal, right? Some people are doing better than me. Some people are doing worse than me. That's the same situation for everybody. Anybody on the planet could say that some people are doing better than them and some people are doing worse. Once you kind of start feeling more neutral and like you're more equal to everybody else instead of like, my life is going horrible, then you can just go focus on things that make you feel good. But try to just stay out of that like comparison trap altogether when it comes to wealth. All right, so that concludes our overall energy theme for the month of September and our love, health, and wealth reading for the How to Wear a Crown Collective. And now we're going to dive into the individual signs. First up, we have Aries. Aries, you have the law of attraction with the underlying energy of that you are the creator of your own reality. So, Aries, what you really need to understand is that you are a divine creator. You are not at the whim of everything that's happening around you. The the government doesn't rule your life. Other people in your life don't rule your life. Um, this is your life. And look at the picture of like these hands like just painting this world. This is what you need to understand is that it's like you have this giant big spirit. And I think Aries are like so much more like logical, like grounded in reality than some of the other signs, that this one's hard for you to perceive. But this is so true. You are a creator, it's your reality, it's your life, and you have power and you get to um not just have power in like this I'm like king ruler kind of way, but like in this creative fun way where it's like, oh, this is like playing, right? Like life can actually be fun. And me, you know, trying to, manifest my dreams is like a fun thing. This is like playing. It's not work, it's playing. And to not look at the manifestation process or the like bringing these things to life as like a bunch of effort and hard work, but as play and fun, something that will be joyful and happy and um, something that along the way is going to be a pleasurable experience for you because Aries really does enjoy um, staying connected to things that are pleasurable and fun and joyful. So look at the act of using the law of attraction and creating your life into your ideal life as a fun experience, kind of like a game. It's like the game of life, and how can I play this, right? Because that's what's going to get Aries' mind going, ooh, I want to do that. Because I feel like it's like so far you've been looking at this experience as if it was hard work and a lot of efforting instead of something that you could play in and have fun with, and um, that will bring you a lot of joy and happiness, and along the way, not just as like an end result thing that you've been trying to get to of the end of the creation, the finished painting, but that the process of painting is fun, right? The process of it is enjoyable. And so that's what the universe wants you to look at in terms of you manifesting your dream life, is that it's going to be fun. All right. That was Aries. Next we have Taurus. My Tauruses. Hi, Taurus. Okay. Taurus, you have integrity. Protecting your worth with integrity, which was also the card that was pulled for our daily card today on 8/28 for the membership site, Uplevel Your Life membership. That is free for 30 days, by the way, if you want to go check that out. We do a daily card pull every day. It's really great with journaling prompts that you can use to activate that into your life. But so Taurus, we have integrity in protecting your worth. And what this is all about is that when something's valuable for you, it's when something's valuable, we protect it, right? We keep it safe, we keep it clean, we keep it nice. We treat it really well. And one thing that really affects our sense of self-worth is lacking integrity. Integrity is when we say what we mean and we mean what we say, and what we say is what we do, and we don't sign up for stuff that we don't really want to sign up for. And if we, want to say no to something, we say no to it. If we want to say yes to something, we say yes to it. We don't say yes to things we want to say no to, and just really being authentic with our actions. It's having honest actions, that the way that we're walking out our life is representative of what's truly going on in our mind and in our heart. And when you lack integrity and you're saying yes to things that you really want to say no to, and vice versa, it hurts your heart because that's a self-betrayal. And I feel like that you could be having a lot of internal conflict and issues with your relationship with yourself right now, Taurus, because of an integrity issue. Because not that you're not following through with things for other people, but more so that I'm I'm betraying me, right? I might be too worried about, I think it might be like a people pleasing thingy, like that you're more worried about what other people are thinking about you than what you're thinking about you. And so what you need to do is stop and reflect on that and ask yourself, why am I more worried about what other people think about me than what I think about me, to the point where I will literally betray my own self. My whole soul is screaming, no, 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 don't do that. Don't go there. Don't listen to that. Don't blah, blah. And yet, because so and so thinks that you should, you're like, okay, you know, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about here. And then that damages your sense of self-worth, because then you feel like you don't matter to yourself. I don't matter enough to me to like stand up for myself or do what I actually wanted to do in that moment. And so then you end up with stacks of self-resentment and all of these self-forgiveness processes that you have to go through. And if you're not emotionally intelligent enough and you're not self-aware enough and you haven't been through like the How to Wear a Crown program, you don't know the tools yet to like how to do all those things, then it's just stacking up and building up inside of you. And it's just building and building and building. You're just feeling worse and worse and worse about yourself. And you're like, why do I hate myself so much? Why do I hate myself so much? And you don't even know why, right? And it's because of the integrity. It's because you're doing things you don't want to do. And it's like the things that you don't want to do are the things that you're doing, and then the things that you want to do are the things that you're not doing, and it's just like so backwards. And spirit's just like, Taurus, do what you want to do and don't do what you don't want to do. Well, okay. Forgive me, I'm a nerd. Okay. Okay, Taurus, you might need to sign up for the program because I feel like um I feel like it's your month. Like September is like your month, Taurus. All the Tauruses go sign up for the program this month. It's time. It's time. The time is now, though. Gemini, your card came easily. I have become comfortably crowned for the Geminis. So I have become comfortably crowned as an overall arching energy that says, uh, I am comfortable in my sense of self-worth. I get that I have this self-worth thing. I have this inherent worth and it's unshakable. And I know now that I'm worthy no matter what, no matter what's been done wrong to me, and no matter what I've done wrong to anybody else. I get my value. I know that I have worth. I am cool with like accepting all of the beauty, the love, the health, the wealth that life has to offer me. And I can see now that this is what I've been lacking. I can see now that I haven't known my worth all of this time. And that's what's been causing me all of the discomfort and problems in relationships and issues with money and problems in my career and all of these like negative things that I've been manifesting. I can tell now that it's because I didn't have the self-worth. Or well, not that I didn't have the self-worth, but that I didn't know that the self-worth existed. I didn't know that I was a valuable being, right? So it's, and this is a beautiful thing because I'm also feeling like this is kind of like a first for you. This is like, it's either like the first time I've become like aware enough about this to allow myself to even go there to say, I'm valuable, I'm deserving, I'm worthy. I think it might be like the first time, or like maybe you've been doing it in your head, but now you're finally like believing it for the first time. Or it's like that at the beginning of the reading, we had like the, what was the card? It was this one, like the evolution of your worthiness, like, oh, there's this, I thought I thought I did know that I was worthy, but it turns out there was this whole other world of like what it means to understand my worth that I had no clue I could even dive into. Like I didn't even know this realm of self-worth energy was available to me. And it's comfortable. Like this is now more comfortable than the old way of being, which was not understanding your worth. Does that make sense? So it's like a divine acceptance of this is my truth. I am worthy. I'm worthy of all the things. I always have been, and I just maybe couldn't see it. So that's Gemini. Who's next? Is Cancer. Cancer. Cancer, you've got protecting your worth, bravery, and courageousness. So this card is all about, so overall energy is protecting your worth. Yes, we're going to protect our worth because once we've realized that we have something valuable, it's our job to protect it. Part of how we protect it is by being brave and being courageous. And if I could, the baby on the card symbolizes crawling, right? Being comfortable with crawling. So it's like I'm doing something new. I'm doing something I've never done before. I know I deserve what's on the other side of like having to go through that learning process of doing that new thing. And I know and believe that I deserve it so much that I'm willing to go through that process. I'm willing to learn to crawl before I can walk, right? That I know that I have to learn to crawl before I can walk and before I can run, right? That, but I can see myself being this person who is running full speed, right? I can see myself doing these things and being this person who is just, the running just symbolizes like doing the thing to its fullest, like being myself to the fullest, really fully expressing who I am and living up to my full potential is kind of what that represents, right? But I know that in order to get to there, there's steps in between, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to kind of look silly, right? And because it's like babies don't they crawl and they fall down and they crawl and they fall down. They get up, try to walk and they fall down, and they're not really worried about what anybody else is thinking about them trying to learn how to crawl. They're just learning how to crawl. And so it's like take all that out. Just get rid of all of like the what other people are thinking about you, or if you're doing it perfectly or not. Like, no, you're not doing it perfectly. Of course not. You're learning. It's a learning experience. You're supposed to be crawling right now. So be okay with being where you're at. That's part of protecting your worth, is just being brave enough to take those first steps, even if they're wobbly, and believing that worth is that you're worth doing it badly, right? Like anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. And you're gonna suck at stuff initially if you want to go after something new, and that's okay. And it's okay to fail and fall down in front of other people and get back up again and try again over and over and over again. You get unlimited chances to learn how to walk, right? And so that's however that applies to you. I feel like just leaving it really super open to interpretation and not putting a bunch of um, examples on it, because spirit's just like, it's Cancer, like they're all water, like they'll get it, they'll understand how this applies to them. So, okay, what are you learning to do? What are you learning to do? What are you crawling at, Cancer? Just be okay with the crawl. That's all. Be okay with the crawl. All right, next got Leo. Leo, you've got a major theme energy of love, health, and wealth. That just means you need to be looking at the bigger picture right now. You need to be telling yourself that you deserve love, health, and wealth all at once. This is the energy of um, I deserve to have it all, that I don't have to sacrifice in one area or another. Um, that just because I want to have a solid career doesn't mean I have to give up love to have that. That just because I want love doesn't mean I have to give up my career to have that. That there can be a balance amongst love, health, and wealth, where all of these things can kind of exist together, and me just kind of learning to like get a grasp on having um not this like dualistic perspective where I feel like I have to choose one thing over the other. That you're allowed to have like a full happy life, and then going like, what would that look like if I actually had that? And then how can I take the first right next actions to bring this into my life? And so it's kind of like this daydreamy energy of just, let me just dream of like what all could be. Let me just get in the habit of just dreaming again, believing in, having hope again for my future, for myself, for my life, for limitless possibilities, for all things to be available to me again. Kind of like a childlike mentality of just like, oh, like I'm allowed to dream, and I don't have to like put limitations on myself. There's enough limitations in the actual world that I don't have to do that in my head. I'm allowed to dream just for the sake of dreaming. I'm allowed to dream just because it feels good to dream, just because it feels so good to imagine and think about all the different things and just being in that kind of airy fairy state of dream world and imagination is a good enough reason to do the dreaming, even if it never even came true. Just because it feels good to dream, you can dream. That's my Leos. Next we have Virgo, big Virgo energy. It's a Virgo full moon right now, isn't it? This is like your month. So I bet we got a good card for you guys. Virgo. We got it. Virgo. Not what I was expecting. Mhm. We got for you what makes you worthy and false self-worth. So for you, my Virgos, look at the card. It's this picture of this little girl and she's got her crown on, but she's like all dirty and she's like begging, right? It's kind of what are they? Oh, I don't even want to say a stupid fad word, but like the pick me energy. No, no. Um, we're not doing any of that. We're not doing any of the anything that makes you feel like you're gonna like beg. I can't cuss on YouTube, but like, uh, beep that, right? Anybody that makes you feel like you gotta beg for something, gots to go. Anything that makes you feel like you got to beg for it, gots to go. If you're at a job interview and you feel like you're having to like over explain like why you should work there, just be like, mm, I think I'm out of alignment with this job. Get up and leave right in the middle of the interview. Oh, you know what? I realized, yeah, the things that you guys are saying about this position is actually not right for me. So I'm a walk. Or in the relationship, like, you know what? I don't, you know what? Never mind. Trying to figure out if you want me. I don't want you, actually, for a matter of fact, right? So it's kind of that energy of like, wait a second. This isn't about everybody and everything like choosing me to validate if I'm good enough. I am good enough, duh. And then I get to pick and choose like what belongs in my realm and what gets to match like my energy and frequency and vibration, what belongs in my life because it's my life. And I know my worth and I don't have to beg for it. I don't have to beg for you to understand it because me knowing it's enough, God knowing that it's enough, and beep what you think, right? And then it's that false self-worth is this idea that, we are doing things that make us feel worthy, even though, or that we're doing things because we think it's making us feel worthy, but it's not actually making us feel true sense of self-worth. It's playing on our ego. So that could be appearance things. Um, just like I talk about makeup. Like I love makeup. I like getting lip filler, but it's like the lip filler is it makes your lips prettier, and that's the truth of it. And it makes me feel good to get the lip filler because I feel like it makes my lips prettier, and I like having prettier lips. But then it's like, but if you're getting the lip filler and the vibe around getting the lip filler is, oh God, I'm not good enough unless I have the lip filler. Or I'm not good enough unless I get the Botox. Or I'm not good enough unless I'm this weight. Or, once it's attached, to your sense of self-worth, then it's not just like a fun um thing for you to participate in anymore. It's creating a false sense of self-worth. That could also be like, why am I doing certain things that I'm doing, like things around people. um People pleasing behaviors can be a thing. um falling into self-pity. I think the example that I have in the book is that we might do this thing where we downplay ourselves or we hate on ourselves. That scene on Mean Girls where the girls are all in the mirror and they're going, "Oh my God, my pores are so big," and they're or I'm this and that, and like they're just all like picking at themselves about something, and then they look over at like Lindsay Lohan's character, and she because she didn't grow up in America with these weird girl roles, she was just like, I have really bad breath in the morning. Like she didn't know what to say to hate on herself. Well, it's like it's that kind of a thing where it's like you're supposed to be hating on yourself because that was the role, right? That's the role. That was the how we did it in society because you're not allowed to like be truly confident in yourself around other people, around other women or whatever. And so you catch yourself like playing it small, right? I'm not going to be in my fullness. I can't because what if I hurt somebody else's like fragile ego? What if I hurt somebody else's what if somebody else feels triggered by me being in my power? What if somebody else feels triggered by being me being pretty? Another one would be like, what if what if somebody else's boyfriend looks at me and then she hates me because he looked at me because I'm attractive? Like, let me just downplay myself and like, put just be a smaller version of yourself. But it's like that's a false sense of self-worth, right? Like that I'm, you know, breaking into some like I'm stepping into some moral high ground because I'm playing it small. Like that's me doing other people a favor to play it small, but really you're just like hurting your own sense of self-worth because you're creating this false sense of self-worth around these things because of the meaning that you're putting on it when really it's just like quit and what actually makes you worthy. And it's think about that instead. And it's none of those things that you're doing to try to make sure that everybody is comfortable all the time around you. Just be you because that's what makes you worthy because your worth is inherent and you don't have to beg anybody to see that. And if they don't see it, then they're allowed to be blind. So they're allowed to be blind and don't beg. And you're awesome. And this is your month. And this is so shine, Virgo, shine, because we're not playing it small anymore. I'm not begging nobody for nothing no more. Okay, that's Virgo. Enough said. You get it. You were like, I was already 2 steps ahead of you. I was already thinking it. I said that yesterday. That'll be Virgo. All you did was validate what I already knew. That's going to be Virgo. Wrote it in my journal. I got a journal entry that already has it written down. You're not telling me anything I don't know. I was already there. Thanks for just validating. Thanks for affirming what I knew I needed to step into. Big Virgo, big Virgo, big Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Okay, Libra. Libra. You are next, my love. You got so we got another major theme here, which is the how to wear a crown theme card. I mean, this one is just overall, you just need to get in it. Like you're not even in it. You're not even in the realm yet. Like we need to get you in here, read the book, get the program. You need to just get started. Like I feel like my Libras that are watching are like so far from even understanding. They're like you're like 20 miles away looking over at this self-worth thing going, what is that? Is that even an existence for me? Have I even ever known my sense of self-worth? What is how to wear a crown? Like I'm so far from it. I don't even know what to think about this. It's out of the realm of anything I've ever even tried to comprehend or think about. Um, I feel like It's a action message to just get involved however you can. We even have, there's even freebies on the site. Like there's a free ebook and there's a free three um 3 session course called a self-worth survival kit. Go grab those, jump in. Let's just start figuring out what is this thing. Like you might just need to look up the definition of self-worth. Like just Google the definition of self-worth. Um, and I feel like, so I'm hearing like confidence. It's like you think self-worth and confidence are the same thing. You think self-worth and self-esteem are the same thing. You really don't know the difference between any of them. And you just need to get started like understanding just this whole concept in general of like what is a sense of self-worth. We just need to start with like the basics, basic self-cares and basic understandings. These are going to be like the primary teachings. And I'm hearing basic self-care, like just like, can you just eat some food and drink some water that nourishes you and take a nice shower, like one of those like everything showers, and get some really good rest and clean up around the house. And it's like focus on those basics, okay? That's really all there is to that one. And that's Libra. All right, Scorpio. That's me too. So I'm Scorpio. So this is going to be for us. Here we go. That's still small voice and what is self-worth. So I feel like you are learning all over again to listen to the still small voice, that you are stepping into that next level evolution of listening to the still small voice, that you're really tuning in to a more specific. So this is like your next level of the still small voice. It's Scorpios are very intuitive anyway. I feel like a lot like me, like you guys have always had, a knowing, always had an intuition, but I feel like you're learning to listen and learning to hear in a whole new way, learning to hear much more specific instructions, much more, like instead of just this general like nudge that you listen to, and that being the communication between you and the divine, like a push to do this, it's like more of an exact instruction, like almost maybe like fine tuning like psychic gifts, like like maybe you've never audibly heard like had a clear audience sort of um, gift before, but now you're hearing things like word for word clairaudient, right? Maybe um you've always had an intuitive nudge that you could feel like, oh, I feel it in my gut, I feel it in my gut, but now it's like, oh, I'm having like a full on like psychic vision, like I can see it clear as day. um that kind of thing, like the next level of like what it looks like to have communication between you and the divine. Whatever you've been doing, it's another level of that. And so you're just learning to like perceive a little bit more, deeper, more fine-tuned. um and then also with that is learning to trust it, right? You're having to learn to let go of questioning yourself around the communication, instead of picking up on something that you're perceiving and then going, oh, well, I'm crazy, or this, that's not it, or oh, I'm just being judgmental, or this, that, and the other, right? Like instead of like doing all these things where you talk yourself out of what you just perceived and picked up on, you're actually like allowing yourself to confidently receive that message or knowing and act upon it without doubts and without questions. So there's like a whole new level of confidence around this as well, because it says, what is self-worth? And so it's like you're really, to understand your worth is to understand who you are truly, to see yourself through God's eyes. And so you're seeing yourself better, more clear. Um, and when, you're understanding that this is who you are, right? This is who I am. I just am this perceptive, sensitive being. I just am this person who can perceive in all of these ways that maybe not everybody is as connected to as I, and that's okay. And I'm allowed to know those things, receive those things, use those things. Those are, this is communication that's coming to me for a reason. And I get to have that and like to be confident in it, right? To have a knowing of that you're worthy of using those abilities and senses for your good and in a way that benefits you, right? Okay. So that's Scorpio, the still small voice, taking it to the next level of that. We're getting deeper communication around talking to the divine. What does it look like? Ooh, and I also heard like you're talking more specific. It's more specific prayers too. So that's not just a receiving, it's a speaking to the divine, getting very specific about what you want and how you want it and what you want to manifest, and um, stepping much more into this beautiful co-creative energy between you and the divine, where you're working with God to help manifest your will for your life instead of maybe resisting or working against or um, not allowing. Like you're very receptive, perceptive, and receptive right now. Next, we got Sagittarius. Sagittarius. For you, we also have that still small voice, but we have the iconic mirror moment. So for you, we're doing also listening, we're hearing, um, having communication with the divine, but we're also having communication with self, right? That iconic mirror moment is the moment where you walk past a mirror and you have to look yourself in your own eyes, and you feel something, right? You might hear yourself say something. Ugh, right? The example that from the book is, how did I get here? What happened to me? Um, what's going on with you lately, man? It's like that kind of a thing where you meet yourself in the mirror, and then you have to face some kind of feeling or something, thought that you've been avoiding because now you're looking yourself in the eyes. And this is also about, we don't got to wait for happenstance. We don't got to wait for some random moment to occur. Go do this consciously. Go sit with yourself in the mirror. You need to know how to do that. I'll teach you all about it right here in this book, the How to Wear a Crown. How to Wear a Crown, a Practical Guide to Knowing Your Worth. It's available on Amazon. It'll all be in the description. You need to sit in front of the mirror. You need to get with yourself, by yourself, connect with yourself. You're not connecting with yourself, Sagittarius. You're avoiding yourself, and there's things that you need to have conversation with yourself about, because, and I'm feeling like it's not like an internal conflict situation. I think it's just an internal unawareness. Like there's a lot of things that are going on underneath the surface that you just don't know are going on underneath the surface because you're not aware. And it's probably not bad. It's probably not good. It feels very neutral. But it feels just like you need to connect with yourself because you're just not connecting with yourself. Maybe you've been too busy. I think maybe work and things like that are taking precedence over a self connection, when typically you would be the kind of person who would want to self connect. You've just kind of been too caught up. So it's like, so consciously take that time to connect because you really deserve it. Um, and you'll feel better. You kind of just feel a little lost and like something's missing right now at the moment. And it's nothing major. So that's a good message. It's nothing major. It's just the connection. You're not going to find anything really crazy or scary in there. There's going to be things that come to your awareness that you're like, oh, I have been feeling like that. Oh, I have been thinking that. It feels really like just catching up with a friend, right? Just catching up with an old friend because you haven't talked in a long time, kind of an energy. Like nothing to be scared of. Just go chill with you and without like being on a screen, without being on the phone, don't do anything, don't read a book, like nothing like that. This is just you getting with you to just catch up and reconnect. Yeah, it feels really sweet and it feels really pretty and it feels like just like a moment where you're having a breath and it feels like you could make this cool. Like there's gonna be this cool Sagittarius energy around the way that you do this. Like I'm seeing it's not gonna be very emotional. Like you're not gonna be crying. It's not gonna be like that kind of a thing, but it's gonna be like you're gonna make yourself like your favorite tea or you're gonna go get like your favorite latte or whatever and you're gonna do this in like the chillest Sagittarius way ever, where I'm just feeling you like kicked back, like, okay, let me do this thing that Rachel said to do. And it's like at the end, you're gonna be like, that was fun. Like that was cool. And it feels just very chill and cool. Um, so yeah, don't be scared of this at all. Like this is gonna be great for you. Is that everybody? No. Who is next? Okay, so we had Sag. Now we're gonna do Capricorn. 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 Oh my God. You cannot have that many cards. Okay. Capricorn. With great power comes great responsibility, and intentions are everything. So you've come into some power. You're coming into yourself. You're coming into your authority. Um, I think that you have probably a role. You're in a role where you get some power and some choice around some things. You're like a decision maker and you have some control. You've been given, yeah, some authority. And I feel like that you're a bit uncomfortable in this because you're like, I don't know if I trust myself to like have the power and the authority. Um, but you're in that role because you deserve to have that role, whether this is like parenthood or at work. I'm feeling it a lot around career for whoever's in this collective. Um, Maybe like a small percentage is like just stepped into parenthood for the first time. But I feel it's like more about career, but like it's like this role, like you have power here. You get that great power comes with great responsibility, but that creates fear around it for you. And so it's like you don't have to be scared of it. Trust yourself more and be intentional, and that'll help you feel more secure and more confident around utilizing your power to write down your intentions. Because when your intentions are pure, then your actions will most likely follow along with that, right? And you're like not confident with your actions right now. You're like, am I doing the right things? Am I not doing the right things? Are the things that I should be doing that I am not doing? Or the things that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing? And it's like, well, just get clear about your intentions at first. Okay. So my intent in being in this role is to, you know, make sure that people feel this way, that I feel this way, that people perceive me like this, or that I present like this, or that people can, understand that these are my values. Um, just get clear about overall intentions and energies first, and then decide how your actions should be based on those overall energies. And then you will be more confident because then it takes the pressure off of like, am I doing or not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And more about, am I bringing the right energy into the space? That's the thing. Am I bringing the right energy into the space? Am I holding a vibration and then bringing that vibration here into the space? Okay. Do you understand? I feel like you don't understand. It's going to be, it's when your intentions and your actions align that you will shine. It's when your intentions and your actions align that you will shine. Let me say it again. It's when your actions and your intentions align that you will shine. So you're not shining because you feel like you're not shining and you feel like you're not being seen for everything that you're worth and for what you want to be seen for, but it's because your actions and your intentions aren't aligned. They're not together. They're not on the same page. You have beautiful intentions and you're having good actions, but they're kind of like not on the same page. So write out your intentions, which is going to be what you want for this role, what you want to do with your power, what is good that you want to use your power for in the most macro level, like grand theme energies that you can come up with. And then narrow that down into physical reality. Okay. So like, I want to bring love to the table. Well, the ways in which I can keep love at the forefront is by always um, doing these 5 actions, right? I can show that love. I can express that love by doing this. I can keep love at the forefront of my mind by saying this specific prayer before I go into work. I'm really saying that it's a lot about work. It's about a role that you feel like you're not using the full capacity of your power around, and you want to, but you just don't want to F it up. And that's a good intention right there. I don't want to mess this up. I want to do this well. I'm also seeing that there could be somebody that could be like a mentor or a figure that could help you in your space, in the same space that you're in, that you're questioning your power around. Who gave you the power? Who put you in that role? Who trusted you? And why did they trust you? Like, try to see yourself through their eyes. Ask them that question. Why did you put me here? What is it that you see in me? What is it? What was your vision when you put me here into this space? I want to know what you thought and what you saw so that I can rise to that. Does that make sense? Okay. That was Capricorn. Seriously, ask them that. Okay. Aquarius. And then come back here to the comment section and tell me. Make sure you guys are commenting. I always forget to people to comment and subscribe. We get so into it, I forget to do that kind of stuff. Subscribe. All right. Aquarius. Ah, this is one of my favorite cards in the whole entire deck, Aquarius. All of me loves all of you. This is a depiction of a kintsugi bowl, which is these bowls that it is I think it's a Chinese or Japanese culture that will, if the bowl breaks, they fuse it back together with gold or silver. And then after it's been broken and then repaired with the gold or silver, it's actually revered or deemed like even more valuable than it was before. And this is so much like the process that we go through when we heal and when we walk through like this how to wear a crown journey, because a big portion of it is about us healing from like past traumas and things, which can make splits in your consciousness. And we can be like, if you've ever been broken, if you've ever felt broken, right, then that is means that pieces, right? Broken is pieces. And so putting the self back together, the return to wholeness is what this is all about, is a return to wholeness. And embracing our imperfections is the underlying energy here, which means you're going through a process of healing. You're going through this experience of putting yourself back together after being shattered, broken, in pieces, putting yourself back together, Aquarius. Of course, it's not going to be perfect like it was before. It's never going to be like it was before. Those are things you have to embrace, right? By wrapping them in the gold. And the gold is like the love. So this is like the self-love that we give ourselves, that we learn to do in the How to Wear a Crown program. Like, you wrapping yourself in that love and using love like the glue to put yourself back together, and embracing every single time you see that flaw, embracing it and loving it. That is what heals the soul back together after trauma and suffering and all the things that we go through here in the physical world, that I just kind of encapsulate all into what I call the human condition, right? We don't have to go into like all the different diagnosis or all the different kinds of problems, but you know, trauma, addiction, whatever, the things that even the things that we've done wrong break our own hearts, and we have to heal from that. So this card is called All of Me Loves All of You, because it honors the fact that there's multiplicity in all of us, and that none of us really go through this life experience unscathed, that we all get broken at some point and have to have a process of repair just like this. So all of me, all of my parts honor you, and all of your parts, even the bad, not bad parts, but dark parts or parts that you might not accept or love about yourself yet. I accept and love those parts of you. So I love you until you learn to love yourself. That's what this is all about. And you're worth putting back together. Just because you're broken doesn't mean you're not worth putting back together. And once you put yourself back together, you will actually feel and see yourself as more valuable than you ever were before. Aquarius. Pisces. All right, Pisces, you have what makes you worthy. So this is an overarching energy that's saying just that every single person comes into the world with the same amount of worth. If you have a body, if you were ever a baby, which you all are and were, right? And you have a soul, and that soul went into a physical vessel, then you had the same chance, the same luck, the same, inherent worth as every other human person with a soul. We all come in with the same amount of worth. It's like everybody got a $100 bill, and what happened to that $100 bill throughout your life is like how you spent it, um, will affect, right? What happens, like, okay, what am I trying to say? Have you ever seen that thing where they take the $100 bill and they crumple it up and they're like, oh, is it still $100? Yes. And then they stuck it in the mud and it's like, still $100? Like, yes, still $100. It's like all these things happen to our $100 bill throughout our life experience. But at the end of the day, it's like, even if you ripped up the 100 and then taped it back together, or crumpled it up and then uncrumpled it, or stuck it in the mud and then picked it up out of the mud, it's still worth $100, and it's still valuable, and it's still worth taking care of, or cleaning it off, or uncrumpling it, or like whatever has to go through, like that never changed no matter what. It's still $100. And that's kind of the same with our inherent worth. You came into this world with worth, you went through things, but you're still worthy. And having that knowing of that most basic inherent worth, of that the worth is the worth is the worth is the worth. no buts. And your brain is going to do all these things where it goes, I know I'm worthy, but what about that thing that happened? Doesn't matter. I know I'm worthy, but what about that thing that I did? Doesn't matter. I know I'm worthy, but what about? Doesn't matter. Worthy no matter what. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that's what you need to get anchored in, rooted in, secure in. Stop yourself in your tracks when you're doing that in your head. And you go, I know I'm worthy, but no, but I know I'm worthy. Period. Period. That's Pisces. Now we've got, who we got left? Was that it? Is that everybody? I think that's everybody. Are we done? Okay. If you stuck around till the end, you are a real OG. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this reading for the month of September 2024 with the overall energies, with the love, health, and the wealth, with the individual signs. If you have not yet gotten a copy of my book, How to Wear a Crown, a Practical Guide to Knowing Your Worth, available on Amazon, please go grab it now. You're not going to really be able to fully enjoy these readings to the deepest depths if you have not read this book. And if you want to take your life to a whole new level and really change the game, learn how to wear your crown for real, then you need to go get in the program. At the most basic level, it is a self-paced program. You can take it in whatever way, your own time, at your own pace. You purchase it, it's all recorded videos. You walk through it on your own. I'll be there with you on email if you need support in that way. You can also upgrade if you want one-on-one coaching with me throughout that process. But bare minimum, get the book, read the book, get in the vibe, get more and more in that collective, keep coming back for these readings. I also have a membership where we do a daily card pull every day and a daily affirmation with journal prompts and exercises that help you to lock in and supercharge your How to Wear a Crown journey every single day. It gives you prompts to, a lot of times I love these cards because a lot of the women that take the program, they tell me that they do this thing, flip and pick, and that's how they figure out like what part of the program they want to focus on today. And the cards just make it a lot easier. It gives you a part of the program because this is a really robust program. It's a lot, encompasses a lot of material. And so you'll never have like perfect adherence. It's kind of like a lifestyle that you'll always be doing. Okay. So every day, we pull one of these cards and that kind of gives you an area to focus on and it keeps you on your toes and keeps you involved and keeps you engaging and up leveling your life and love, health, and wealth every single day. So that's only $7.77 a month for the membership, but it's free for 30 days. So jump in. If you don't love it, then you can cancel immediately. That's totally fine. If you love it, stay in it for life and evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve. So you can find all the information that you need to find. So again, any of my things, join any of the stuff at www.racheldgreenwell.com. Links for things will be in the description below. Subscribe. We'll be back for the next monthly reading, and I'll be doing some weekly readings. And you can check me out at Rachel D. Greenwell on all the social media. I love you so much.